Tonight there's heartache for a family of a 7-year-old girl who was found dead in the Bronx on Tuesday. So far, no one's been charged. CBS 2's Thalia Perez says the girl's father, who is desperate to know what happened.
She said that we win, that she loved me. And I was the best dad. I can feel my baby.
Julius Batiste cries as he describes his last phone call with his 7-year-old daughter, Julicia Batiste, who died Tuesday at her home where she lived with her mother and brothers.
She was crying out for help. Nobody did nothing for my baby. And I just want justice for my baby.
Batiste says his daughter moved in with his mom, her grandmother, when she was just 5 days old. She lived in Crown Heights with her grandmother up until March of last year, when her mom won custody and she moved to the Mitchell houses in the Bronx. Police confirm that they've responded to more than a dozen domestic violence calls and complaints at the home.
Okay, I want to be very clear. I feel sorry for the dad. I think it's terrible what happened. However, man, he's free. If he was in prison, I could understand. Or if he was in that overseas in war or something, I could understand. But he was in the same city. And he's blaming other people. Nobody did nothing for his baby. There have been 12 domestic violence calls to this home. Man, listen, man, you can flip burgers for $15 an hour. Okay? And he's crying about it now that she's dead. She was crying out, well, you're the father, man. Listen, man. I get it, man. Online, you gotta, if you're a sister, you gotta always defend the sister. If you're a brother, you always gotta defend the brother. Because this gender war going on in this sector of YouTube. But listen, I'm the news anchor for this sector of YouTube, man. I ain't getting into all that. Ain't no way this brother should be sitting here crying about his baby was calling out and nobody helped her. She was in a house where there was 12 domestic violence. So the police did their job. They were called. They came. Obviously, the courts failed. And in some way, this father failed. Now, if he was in jail, I get it. But he was right there in the streets.
Police confirm that they've responded to more than a dozen domestic violence calls and complaints at the home. It's not known, though, if those calls came before or after March. Then on Tuesday, police say Julicia's lifeless body was found with blunt force trauma to her stomach and trauma to her face and arms.
I have fought, I have did fair hearings, I have did interviews. They told me I had to do an independent review.
The circumstances surrounding the Administration for Children's Services' decision to return Julicia to her mother's custody is unclear. ACS is prohibited from speaking about the specifics of this case, but did say our top priority is protecting the safety and well-being of all children in New York City.
And look, man, I understand that the mother's going to get the child, and I think the mother should get the child most of the time. I mean, guys, we don't want to take care of no kids. Really, that's not, on our nature. The majority of mothers are at least decent. And there are a lot of bad mothers, but the mother, let's be real, man. The mother going to get the child most of the time. The court's going to get the mom the child most of the time. When I was a kid, I wanted to be with my mother. Every kid cried for their mother. When I was on the playground, as a little kid, I never seen a little kid skin their knee and cry for their daddy. Never seen it. Okay? Kids want their mothers, even if they come from two-parent households. All right? And this brother might not have had any choice in the matter. I get it, man. And my heart goes out to him, man. He may have been in a tough situation. His mother said she filled out all the paperwork. It's a tough situation. My heart goes out to him. You know, maybe I was too hard on the brother, man.
The circumstances surrounding the Administration for Children's Services' decision to return Julicia to her mother's custody is unclear. ACS is prohibited from speaking about the specifics of this case, but did say, our top priority is protecting the safety and well-being of all children in New York City. We are investigating this case with the NYPD. But Davis maintains that ACS should have never removed her granddaughter from her home in the first place because she says she'd still be alive.
They have failed me, my son. They have also failed my granddaughter big time.
The family tells us they are now planning final arrangements for Julicia. This while the NYPD says so far no arrests have been made. In Crown Heights, Thalia Perez, CBS 2 News.
I just saw him laying on the ground, so I thought he was drunk and just fell out.
It's still a mystery to some neighbors, the details surrounding the death of Ariel Alvarado. Police say the 46-year-old was beaten to death, punched several times, and thrown down these stairs earlier this month.
It's sad, you know.
Police arrested Luis Ortiz. He lives right here at the scene and charged him with Alvarado's murder. But that's when the details take a turn. Sources tell us Ortiz claims Alvarado made sexual comments about his 14-year-old daughter. And over a course of a year, Alvarado allegedly continued to harass the teen. And
now that's plausible, man. We not about here to sit here and act like it's completely out of the realm. Like it's completely out of the realm of possibilities that a grown man would do this to a 14-year-old girl. We not about to act like that. Like, how could that happen? That never happened. Like, listen, man. Okay? That happens in wealthy families, middle-class neighborhoods, politicians, socialites, millionaire, that type of crime happens all the time. Some grown man harassing a little girl to some degree, in the spectrum from harassment to you know what. I totally believe this. And there should be some evidence to back this up. Some witnesses or testimony, something. And I don't blame this dad for doing what he did. I don't blame this dad for doing what he did. Sometimes you got sometimes you have to go all out. And I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, he should have measured, he should have thought about. If a dude is constantly harassing your 14-year-old daughter, and we know this happens, like, we're not going to sit here and play dumb and act like, oh, there's got to be a conspiracy. There's the Illuminati. Like, no, we ain't going to do all that. This happens all the time. Okay? It happens. Okay? And the dad put an end to it. And he's going to pay the cost to it. He's going to go through the court system. He's going to get whatever he gets. I just hope the court system is as lenient with him as they are with these teens and these young men that are out here terrorizing the community. I hope they're as lenient with him as they are with them.
Sad, you know.
Police arrested Luis Ortiz. He lives right here at the scene and charged him with Alvarado's murder. But that's when the details take a turn. Sources tell us Ortiz claims Alvarado made sexual comments about his 14-year-old daughter. And over a course of a year, Alvarado allegedly continued to harass the teen. And the attack was retaliation. We tried to speak with Ortiz's family, but they did not answer their apartment door. While neighbors pay their respects to Alvarado, they admit he would always drink and sit on the stoop.
It's not good what happened to him, poor thing, you know, beat him like that, like they said. When he wasn't drunk, he was respectful, because I never saw him getting fresh with anyone.
When he wasn't drunk, he was respectful. And listen, some people are still going to act like this is a conspiracy. People don't do stuff like that. There's an interesting case going on right now in SunTube where a popular hotep has come under fire for his role in a situation dealing with a minor. Okay? And some people are acting like it's a conspiracy. Act like it's a conspiracy. This thing could never, how could this possibly be? Come on, man. Stop it.
Poor thing, you know, beat him like that, like they said. When he wasn't drunk, he was respectful, because I never saw him getting fresh with anyone.
But how he died, being beaten to death, paints a different picture.
So when hit him and he fell out and died, I was shocked to hear that. Sorry for both families in this situation, you know, the one that died and stuff like that, got killed, and the other family that's, you know, being held. It's a sad day.
And it is important to note that charges against Ortiz could change, or they could even be dropped. That will depend on the district attorney. Right now, the NYPD is still interviewing the 14-year-old just to get to the bottom of what the victim allegedly said to her. For now, we're live in East Harlem. Nicole Johnson, Pix 11 News.